Hello, my name's Garry Billington. I've suffered from psychosis now for 12 years, and this is a little bit of my journey and what I've been through over those 12 years, and I'm hopefully going to talk about a little bit about volunteer work as well that helps me to look after my well-being and my mental health. I started volunteering in 2011. I started with small community groups at first, working within nature. I'd worked for the British Conservation Trust. I'd also worked for Sankey Valley, cutting trees down, planting trees. And the reason I went for that was basically to help me to relax and chill and sort of take those pressures away, because out in nature it's quite a relaxing environment to be in. And we were building fences around ponds in Runcorn. We were at a train station in Manchester putting in a new fence. And with Sankey Valley we were using conservation to cut the trees down and narrow the paths. And like I said, it was very relaxing and easy to do, and it helped me to cope with hearing voices at that time, because at that time in my life I was probably hearing voices 12 hours a day constantly and hallucinating. It's given me coping mechanisms. It's given me a way of helping others and also helping myself, but also putting your problems aside and volunteering and helping other people, caring for people, learning new skills. You're giving, you're learning, you're helping, you're socialising, and you're out in the community. It helps you to feel good about yourself and what you're doing, and it's helped my mental health a great deal, because I've been able to also share about the good experiences that I get from volunteer work, as well as hearing voices and hallucinating. Yeah, I've been volunteering now at Long Lane Garden Centre for about 4 years. I'm usually there on a Tuesday morning for 3 hours, and in them 3 hours I've been asked in the past to support a person, help a person. Now they could be planting seeds or sowing seeds. We could be digging up the garden centre, laying a new path, also doing woodwork, and also at the moment I'm working on cleaning the bikes and selling them, raising funds for Long Lane Garden Centre. I've even been out into the community at IKEA, selling plants in Golden Square, setting up a table, just making people aware of what Long Lane Garden do. Long Lane Garden Centre is a big part of my volunteering, because when I do go on a Tuesday morning, I'm in an amazing place with amazing people who leave their problems at the door and just enjoy life. And we're able to have a laugh, we're able to talk, it's just a normal environment, having fun as well, and the people make it that. So yeah. I've been hallucinating and hearing voices now for 12 years, and I needed a little bit of support a couple of years ago myself, where I was hearing voices and I needed a place to talk about it. So I went to Wigan, Platt Bridge, and I was there for 18 months. I'd go there every Tuesday afternoon and talk about my experiences of what I was hearing, negative and positive, sharing my hallucinations and visions. And I decided that I'd like to set a group up in Warrington. So off that basis, I decided to ask Creative Remedies about a Hearing Voices group, and Creative Remedies kindly got me Allen Street Day Centre, and I now facilitate a Hearing Voices group. We've been going over 12 months, and we're averaging 6 or 7 people, and we've had a maximum of about 12. And the group's evolving all the time. People are now sharing things with their family where they wouldn't have done before. We're doing a logo in art to promote the group. And also, we've been out for a day out on the Wizard. And people are making progress just by talking and sharing. It's about talking the negatives out and removing that burden, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And it's about sharing and not being scared about the voices that you hear. At first it can be frightening. I've been there myself, where I've heard, a lot of voices, and I've been very frightened. but I've learned my personality has allowed me to cope with it and share what I go through. On a Tuesday night, you know, it's a very informal group. People can come along. They don't have to talk if they wish. They can just listen. But what is said there is confidential and private, and that's important because they want to feel normal and they want to be able to talk in a natural environment and know that what they're saying won't be shared, but also what they're saying is being released from them, which is very important. You know, the volunteer work that I do takes my mind off things. It allows me to feel normal. There's no stigma in where I volunteer. You know, everybody's aware that I suffer from psychosis, and you're just treated naturally, you know, as a normal person, and you get along with people, and you share your stories, and you know, you can feel comfortable in what you're doing. You know, I volunteer within the community, so I volunteer at like 5 or 6 different organisations, and everybody's aware of my mental health, and that's really important, but also not to dwell on it as well. And by helping people, you're breaking that stigma, and you're teaching them as well. You know, for me personally, I think anyone who's got schizophrenia or psychosis, I think talking it is very important, but also distraction and doing something that you enjoy. Volunteer work is about doing something you enjoy. Don't just go out and volunteer for an organisation and not enjoy it. Get something out of it as well, because it'll help you to cope with what you're going through, and it'll help you to enjoy what you're doing as a volunteer, and that's really important. I would recommend volunteer work to anyone because it's changed my life and it's a big part of my life now.
I met Garry about 3 years ago when he started coming to the Creative Remedies photography group, and more recently, for about the past 6 months, I've been helping to support the members of the Hearing Voices group, which Garry facilitates. I think the thing with Garry is he's just so open, and one of the things I really admire about him is he is just an open book. He makes everyone feel really comfortable, he puts everyone at their ease, and he's just a really genuinely nice guy, and I think people find it really easy to open up to him because he is just so open himself. You can't help but sort of start going, oh right, okay, and sort of opening up and sharing things back with him. He's had a really tough time and he's put such a positive spin on it. He really is fantastic. He volunteers for so many organisations, it's just unbelievable. And I think another thing is he's just so confident. He's really at ease with himself, and you don't really get that a lot without sort of arrogance, whereas Garry's just used everything that's happened against him to sort of better other people's lives.